Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my friends, whenever you're watching this video. Welcome back to Math Time with me, Miss X. I am so excited to have you all here again. So let's jump straight into our objective so we know exactly what we're doing today. Alrighty, my friends, take a look at our objective. It's always broken up into 3 separate parts so we know exactly how we're going to do something, what it is that we need to understand about it, and lastly, why we're doing it or why it's important. So you may read with me or in your head as I read out loud to you. I can use the given sentence frames to tell about 1 more, 1 less, 10 more, 10 less, 100 more, and 100 less in order to see how the whole number and each digit changes when we add or take away a unit. Now that sounds very, very crazy and it sounds like a hard job, but I know you can do it, my friends. Your job today is to pay attention to these 3 things, okay? So let's go ahead and jump straight into our teacher model.
All right, friends and families, welcome to the teacher model. For this teacher model, we're going to go ahead and show 110 on our place value chart. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to show 110 on our place value chart. Great. Now, we're going to use more 10 discs to count by tens up to 150, okay? So let's go ahead and do that. We're at 110, 120, 130, 140, 150. Great, we just got to 150, so I'm going to go ahead and write that up here on our board, 150, okay? We will come back to this later, but we're just going to write this down. Coming back to the place value chart here, I'm going to add another tens disc. 10 more than 150 is, so let's go back over here. 10 more than 150 is 160. Great. So let's go ahead and write that down. Look at our sentence frame here. 10 more than 150 is 160. Now it's your turn to say it using our sentence frame here. 10 more than 150 is 160. Let's go back to our place value chart here. Let's add another tens disc. How many now? 170. Use the frame here to say a complete sentence. Great. 10 more than 160 is 170. My friends, take a look at the numbers that we've counted so far. 150, 160, 170. I want you to pause the video here and talk to a friend or a family member about what's the same and what's different about them. And then we will come back and talk about it as a team. Welcome back, friends. So, they all have 3 digits. The hundreds and the ones place are the same. But if you were thinking and you noticed this too, go ahead and give an agree sign. The tens are changing. The tens are changing every time we add a tens disc. Every time we add a tens disc, the 10 gets bigger. Notice how our hundreds disc stayed the same. Notice how we didn't add anything to the ones and that stayed 0 throughout all of the numbers. It's true in standard form and it's true in our place value chart with our place value discs. So every time we add a tens disc, the 10 gets bigger. Notice 5, 6, 7. Notice 5, 6, 7. Yep. So every time we add a tens disc, let's go back to that. Every time we add a tens disc, the number in the tens place grows. Now we're going to use our list to predict 10 more than 170. So I'm not going to draw the place value discs anymore on our place value chart. I want you to think, based on that rule or based on that new understanding we just came to, I want you to think. We're going to predict, what is 10 more than 170? Great, 180. Using our sentence frame here, go ahead and tell us what we should say for 10 more than 170. Wonderful. 10 more than 170 is 180. Good. Now I'm going to go back to our place value chart and I can go ahead and add that tens disc now. Wonderful. We've worked with our tens. Now we're going to count by ones to show 186, okay? So take a look. We're going to count by ones to show 186. So we're at 180, 181, 182, 183, 184, 185, 186. Now, I'm going to go ahead and add another one disc, okay? How many now? 187, great. Use our sentence frame to describe what you know. Take a look. Yep. One more than 186 is 187. Let's go ahead and write that down on our list here. Now we're going to go back and add another one disc. 188. Yep. Let's go ahead and write that down on our list here. Using our sentence frame, how should we express that? Great. One more than 187 is 188. Great job. Look at our new list of numbers here. What do you notice, my friends? So pause and talk to your friend or family member first. What do you notice about our new list of numbers here? And then we will come back and talk about it as a team. Welcome back, friends. If you were thinking the same thing as me, go ahead and just give an agree sign. The ones are changing, my friends. Take a look. The ones are changing. They're counting up by one each time that we added a disc. They're counting, the ones are changing because they're counting up by one each time that we added a disc. Let's go ahead and go back here. We'll label this list. So we'll label this list of 150 all the way to 180. We'll label this list 10 more since we counted by tens. And we'll label this list 1 more because we counted by ones. We're having another moment where we need you to talk to a friend or family member, okay? So I want you to pause here and talk to your talk to your friend or your family member. We don't have partners right now. Talk to your friend or your family member about how 1 more and 10 more lists, how these two lists are the same and how they're different. And then we will come back and talk about it together as a team. Alrighty, my friends, welcome back. Now, the hundreds, you'll notice that the hundreds are all the same. And you'll also notice that in both lists, only one number changes. Only one number changes. In this list, only the tens changed. And in this list, only the ones changed. When we count by tens, the tens place changes. Same thing for the ones. The numbers in both lists grow by 1 each time. In this list, the tens, it's growing by 1 tens as you go down. In this list, it's growing by 1 ones. each time you go down the list. So, lastly, in the tens list, you'll notice, or you might think that, and it might look like they're growing by ones, but they're not. They're growing by 10. It's just 1 unit of 10 each time you're going down. So each time we're going down, the tens place is changing by 1, but that 1 is worth 10. Take a look. Yep. So it's growing by 1 10, but each disc is worth 10. So what we're going to do next is we're going to count by hundreds. Really fast, what place do you think it's going to change? Great job. The hundreds place is going to change. Let's go back to our place value chart with our place value disc here. We currently have 188 now. So we currently have 188. I'm going to go back over here. We're going to write 188. Okay, 188. I'm going to go back to the place value chart. We're going to add a hundreds disc. How many now? 288. My friends, were we right? Which place is changing? That's correct, my friends. The hundreds place is changing. Now, I want you to use the pattern that we just discovered. I want you to use that pattern to finish my sentence. 100 more than 288 is 388. Let's go ahead and write that down. Let's go ahead and see if that's correct by placing another hundreds disc in the hundreds place value chart. Good. That is absolutely true. 100 more than 288 is 388. Let's take a look at that sentence frame one more time. 100 more than 288 is 388. Wonderful job, my friends. Okay, my friends, welcome to the next part of our teacher model. You guys are doing a great job. Let's keep going. You'll notice that I have 50 on our place value chart here. My place value disc, my 5, 10 place value disc here shows me I have 50. Now we're going to use place value discs to count by ones from 50 to 59. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59. Great. Using a complete sentence, say the number that is one more than 59. Wonderful job. One more than 59 is 60. So take a look at it in our frame here. One more than 59 is 60. 60 is one more than 59. Good. And we just added our disc to check. Can we make a new unit? Absolutely. Yes, we can make a new unit. This new unit is going to be a 10. So we just traded our ones for a 10. And we have that color in black to show that we traded our ones for our 10 ones for 110. Let's keep going. Now we're going to use place value disc again to skip count by tens from 60, which we have here, to 90. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're at 60, 70, 80, and lastly, 90. Using a complete sentence, say the number that is 10 more than 90. Take a look at our frame. Yep, 100 is 10 more than 90. 10 more than 90 is 100. Let's add a disc to check. So we're going to add a disc to check. Oops, sorry. Let's go ahead and switch that color so we don't get confused. Great. We just added a disc and our answer checks out. Now, I have a next question for you. Can we make a new unit, my friends? Yes, we absolutely can. What new unit can we make? Great job, my friends. We can make 100. Let's make that trade, okay? So let's go ahead and box it in, cross it out, move it over so that we have 100. Great. And then just because I have a whiteboard, I'm going to erase that so we don't get confused. Now, we're going to use the next part. We're going to use place value disc to skip count by hundreds from 100 to 600. Okay? Let's go ahead and do that. So we're at 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600. Whew! We finally got to 600 from 100. Using a complete sentence, my friends. Say the number that is 100 less than 600. 100 less than 600. Take a look at our frame here. 500 is 100 less than 600. 100 less than 600 is 500. Let's go ahead and use our place value disc to confirm. If we were to take this away, or take 100 less, that's correct. So our place value disc just confirmed that 100 less than 600 is 500 because we have 5 100 discs remaining. Now, I have a next question, my friends. This part is tricky, so pay close attention. How can you show me 10 less than 500 with our discs? I want you to think about that. Think deep and hard about how we can show 10 less than 500 with our discs. What would we do? Great job, my friends. We would trade 100 for 10s. Let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to change that 100 back to 10s, okay? And remember, in a 100, there are 10 10s. Make sure you organize that in your 10 frame or in 5 groups so it's easy to see. Okay, so we just traded that 100 for 10 10s. Now, can you find 10 less, my friends? We're still at 500 here. We still have 500 because this is 100 and then there's 400 here. So we're still at 500, but what's 10 less? How can we find 10 less than 500? We're going to take away one of the 10 discs. Now take a look. What is 10 less than 500? Great, it's 490. Now I want you to show me 500 again. So let's go ahead and erase this. Show me 500 again. Alrighty, we're back to 500. Now show me 503. Great. How can you show me 10 less than 503? Wonderful. We're going to do it the same way. We're going to change 100 for 10 10s. So let's go ahead and do that. And we're also going to do that setting it up with our 5 groups or our 10 frame here. You absolutely need to set it up in your 5 groups like this. Okay, do we need to change the 3 1s, my friends? Nope, we do not touch them. So, what is 10 less than 503? This is still 100. We have 400 and then 3. So 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 501, 502, 503. What is 10 less than 503? 493. Now, give me a complete sentence. Take a look at our frame down here. 10 less than 503 is 493. Okay, now I have all of our sentence frames, or I have most of our sentence frames on our screen here. This is reflective of what we just did in our place value chart with our place value dis. 10 less than 500 is, great, 490. 10 less than 503 is 493. 10 more than 490 is 500, great. 10 more than 493 is 503. And let's not forget to add a period to the end of each of those statements. Great job, my friends. That's the end of our teacher model. Let's go ahead and move on to talk about what I want you to keep in mind as you're working through your problem set and your exit ticket.
Okay, my friends, as you get ready to move into independent practice and the exit ticket, I want you to keep these 3 things in mind. Number 1, you do not need a partner. Number 2, read both the instructions and the statements carefully and do not rush. Lastly, when thinking about whether you made a 1, 10, or 100, think about units. 10 ones makes 110. 10 tens is the same thing as 100. 10 hundreds is the same thing as 1,000. Keep those 3 things in mind and you're going to do just fine on your independent practice and exit ticket. Lastly, don't forget to click the link in the description box below if you don't have access to the worksheet. It will take you to the worksheet. You don't have to worry about printing it if you don't have access to a printer. Just write down the problems on a separate piece of paper and then solve it on your own the best that you can. Good luck, my friends. I'm looking forward to seeing all of you in our next lesson. Goodbye.